guys back on here. Oh! Oh! Oh, please! Yay! Hey, what's up, you guys? Clunky Dude here. Hope you guys are doing fantastic today. I'm very excited to talk about the one-shot freaking mage build, the best mage build possible for the patch 10.1.5 that is going to allow you to one-shot everything. I hope you're gonna enjoy. Today we are gonna talk about three things: the stats first, then the talents, and the PP talents, and then finally we are going to talk about the full burst rotation. I'm going to display it for you guys so you can actually copy it and start pumping right away and get those sick one shots. All right, so let's go over the stats very quick. We are stacking haste like crazy right now. Okay, almost 40% haste, and it's very important because when you get that freaking heroism proc, which lasts for 7 seconds, is going to increase your haste up to 70%, which is going to allow you to get those glacial spikes. You're gonna be able to spam those basically, okay? With this build, every 5 global cooldowns, you will be able to throw a glacial spikes. Yes, you heard correctly. Every 5 global cooldowns. So it is pretty dumb. Hope you guys are gonna enjoy that. Right, so we are running with the 4 tier set bonuses. Cause casting Ice Lens on a frozen target has a 10% chance to trigger a brain freeze, and you will be, as a frost mage, always gonna be spamming ice lances on frozen targets. So uh, out of 10 ice lances, you will get a brain freeze, which actually helps for the shatter that I'm going to explain a little bit later, right? So your damage comes from shatter. Don't forget it from frost mage, or you won't deal as much damage. So haste on every piece if possible. Haste. For the weapon enchant, we are running Sophic Devotion. Very good enchant. If it procs and you use everything, man, something is going to die. Also, the cleave damage is like way better for Frost Mage than other mage specs. It's literally the best freaking mage spec for cleave damage in the whole game, allowing you to throw a freaking 300k glacials at 2 targets at once, which is super dumb. 600k, okay, and a 2 seconds cast time. How freaking insane does that sound like? Right? So, alright, now that we know about the stats, we will go over the talents. All right. So PP talents, first off, Master Shepherd. If you can actually get a poly on someone and use a glacial on him, your glacial is going to hit 12% stronger, right? It's not always possible to do so, especially in random PP content or well PP. But if you can actually like get your full burst going, get that poly off, and then use a glacial on target, it's going to increase the damage by 12%. All right, absolutely disgusting. You don't actually need to use this one because we hit hard enough as it is. I would probably go with mass invisibility. Why? The reason why is because you can actually mass invis yourself and cast glacial while invisible, so it's going to be much easier to land those glacials, right? Uh, Concentrated coolness. Frozen orbs damage is increased by 10%. We don't care about that. It's just like being able to target at one location and just throw it off. Like and start generating ice lances. That's literally what we are going for, alright? So the build literally revolves around you getting as many procs as possible, building that sick freaking a glacial as soon as possible. Because when you get that, alright, I was just gonna throw a blizzard right here to reset the orbs cooldown. Because when you get those Iceland's procs, you are going to be able to throw a lot more glacials. And the way I've set up the build is that everything, okay, every talent now generates freaking icicles. Okay, and when you get 5 icicles, you can use glacial, right? So no matter the spell I'm using, I'm generating icicles. No matter if it's ice lances, flurries, frost bolts, anything, it generates freaking icicles. So it's gonna add up so much damage in the long term. It is absolutely disgusting, alright? So, again, freezing rain because it resets the cooldown of our frozen orb whenever we blizzard people. Freezing winds. While a frozen orb is active, you gain fingers of frost every 3 seconds, which is super, 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 super good. Splitting ice. Your glacial also hits a second nearby target for 100% of its damage. Which is super, 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 super dumb, okay? Absolutely disgusting. Thermal Void, absolutely need that talent. Alright, so this is the build that we're running. We're playing with Ring of Fire. It adds a ton of damage. And you can actually like set up freaking kills with it. Because whenever you open up, you always use Flurry, right? Flurry actually roots the target in place for like 3 seconds, and it allows you to place that perfect ring of fire on top of him. Okay, so if they want to escape the ring of fire, they take 24% of their total health over 6 seconds. 24% health. So if they go out of the ring, go in and out, that's 50% of their freaking health right there. You only press one key and 50% of their health is gone. So it is pretty strong. If you don't want to play Master Shepherd, I would go for Ice Wall. Frostbomb, we don't want to play with it. I can see some uses, but most of the time it gets dispelled anyways. It hits super hard, but it's kind of super hard to target and get the timing correctly because there's always an interrupt on you. There's always a CC. There's always a bubble from the pally, freaking grounding totem, a spare reflect, everything. So it's very hard to get those huge setups unless you sheep the target and nobody's trying to heal your target. All right. So pretty straightforward. I'm just gonna explain Frostbite. Okay, this is huge. This is huge. This is so huge. Frostbite gives you chill effects and a 10% chance to freeze your target. Okay, so if you use anything on someone like ice magic, it will most likely freeze them in place for a couple of seconds, and it's chain rooting them, which is super dumb, and it must be very annoying for a warrior to get rooted for 20 seconds and then get one-shotted by a freaking glacial. All right. So we are now that we got the talents out of the way, we are gonna go over a freaking burst rotation. All right, hope you guys are ready. I'm sorry I just woke up. I don't feel the best right now, but I'm gonna do my best to explain everything, make everything clear for you guys so you can actually have a lot of fun with Frost Mage. All right. Oh wait, by the way, splintering cold, very good, absolutely insane talent. It's actually gonna be so good for your freaking build. Frostbolt and Flurry have a 30% chance to generate 2 icicles. So as I said, every 5 globals, you get like 1 free glacial spike, which is super insanely dumb, right? Alright, so I've actually installed an add-on which shows the spells that I'm pressing in real time so you guys can actually see what is happening. And I don't know to... Alright, so I've actually installed an add-on which shows the spells that I'm clicking. Alright, so I've actually installed an add-on which shows the spells that I'm using in real time, so I don't have to say the names of them out loud at all times, and I can focus on doing the best rotation that I can, right? So let's try and do the best rotation possible for Frost Mage. Huge OP glacials one-shots, alright? Then you want to use your Blizzard on multiple target to reset its potential. You want to use Ring of Fire again. And then at this point, we can go for another glacial. And by now, your burst is most likely done so. So you always want to flurry before you use glacial into Ice Lance or Comet Storm. That's literally the whole point of this, alright? Glacial Spike, dude. Almost 400k damage with no Zerker buff, with no freaking saltwater potion, with nothing. And remember, guys, that thing can actually split to two targets. So if you can actually get those sick, I'm going to explain in just a little bit, like 20 seconds, how to build huge glacials, because there's a technique. I'm not pressing random keys, all right? Uh, Glacial splits to two targets, and I've seen glacials hit for upwards to 500k with the Zerker buff, saltwater, everything. So it is pretty stupid if you can get like two targets at once, rooted with your Blizzard, your freaking Comet Storm. You're gonna deal huge numbers in Comet Storm actually hits like a truck, dude. It is absolutely disgusting damage. If you can use the mastery correctly, okay, which is Deep Shatter for Frost Mage, okay, for other mages, there's it, they are not as complicated as Frost Mage. For Frost Mage, you kind of need timing. You kind of need people to be rooted or under the effect of your flurry, or you will deal a zero damage. All right. So that's literally it. Icelands, 120k. We got a couple of great hits. Remember, Iceland's actually splits for every time you're hitting 120k. It actually hits two targets. It deals huge cleave damage on top of your freaking flurry, which deals AoE too because of the two tier set bonuses. On top of your frozen orb, on top of your freaking ring of fire, which we actually could not get on the PP dummy. Okay, it's really hard to set up a perfect ring of fire on the PP target dummy, but we still managed to do 150k DPS without ring of fire, okay, because it did not register. It's kind of hard to put it perfectly right on the target. If we did put it on a target, that would have been like way more damage. But you know, it is what it is. It's going to be much easier to put it on players because they actually need to move outside of it to take damage from a ring of fire, right? Blizzard. 500k free. It was on single target. Just imagine how much damage you would have pulled off. This is an AoE spell. You're supposed to use it on multiple targets, right? So if we used it on multiple target, it would have hit for at least 5 million, like during our burst rotation. It is absolutely bonkers. Flurry deals kind of huge damage. Comet Storm, absolutely insane damage. I've seen Comet Storm take 60% of someone's health when you're doing it perfectly, which I'm going to explain a little bit. Shift and power, we don't care. Frozen Orb deals kind of good damage in water. Anyway, so you get the point. All right, so I'm just going to explain very fast what is happening, how you need to play Frost Mage to actually make something happen. As Frost Mage, we are playing with a mastery, which is called Deep Shatter. Deep Shatter, what it does, okay? Uh, your your spells, your frost spells will deal more damage to your enemies if your enemies are frozen. What does that mean? Okay, so first off, you remember that frostbite that I've talked about gives you chill effects for 10% chance to freeze the target. Okay, so if the target is frozen in place, right? I don't know if it works on a PP dummy, so I'm gonna show you guys on this right here. Whenever your target, okay, frostbite, see? So whenever someone gets hit by frostbite and gets rooted in place for a couple of seconds, uh, it adds up to your damage. If you can actually hit with a frost spell during that period of time, it's gonna add up to your damage. Okay, it's kind of lame because like right now people are just spamming it. I can't use training dummy. Let's use this one. Alright, it works. So right now I can use a Frostbolt, Ice Lance, anything, and it's gonna deal critical damage. Alright. If my target is not frozen and I use and now it's gonna crit because I got a Ice Lance proc. No, it's not even critting. Okay, so if there's no freeze on the target, you're gonna hit like nothing. You're gonna hit nothing. You're gonna deal 0 damage. Absolutely pointless to use that spell. Okay, but if you freeze your target in place and we use the same ability, it's gonna actually hit way harder. Okay, that's your mastery right there. It is absolutely very important that you guys understand that. Does it work on the PP? Well, let's just try if it works on the PP training dummy. Oh, it does. Okay, all right. So when you do that, you can actually like use Comet Storm into something that freezes the target in place. Okay, like Ice Nova. Ice Nova is actually used for that matter. You can use Frost Nova, but the best way to do it is Flurry. Flurry actually makes it 100% chance for the next 2 casts that you're gonna deal a whopping amount of damage on your enemies. All right, and that's a very good trick that I can give you. I'm just gonna show you guys. Let's say I do an Ice Lance on this target. Okay, doing 11k, 12k. But sorry, if I use Flurry, my 2 next Ice Lance are actually gonna hit way harder. And if I have procs, okay, we're gonna show you guys. If I have Ice Lance procs, I use Flurry, then use those Ice Lance procs, I'm gonna hit way harder on those 2 next casts. Alright? That's how it is, that's how it works. So if you Flurry, if you use Comet Storm, if you use Glacial Spike, your next 2 spells are gonna hit way harder. Okay? But here's the magic trick. Okay? Here's the magic trick. Your Flurry gives you your Flurry gives your 2 next spells to deal a chance to okay, I'm sorry. Flurry actually gives your 2 next spells like 100% more damage, okay? 100% more critical chance too. But the buff, which lasts for like 7 seconds, something like that, is not gonna get removed if you use Comet Storm. Okay, it's not gonna get removed if you use Frozen Orb. If it's not gonna get removed if you use Blazer on a target. It's only gonna get used. The Flurry buff. It's only gonna get used if you use Frostbolt, Ice Lance, or Glacial. That's the only way to remove the buff. And no matter which other ability you're using, it will not consume the buff. So always keep in mind when you're bursting, you always want to have the flurry debuff on your target at all time. This is what's going to allow you to build huge glacials. If you're not doing that, you will deal 0 damage with glacials, okay? Because Ice Lance actually, okay, we're gonna just get rid of this glacial right now. All right, so we are gonna get a freaking 5 icicles with no deep shatter, and I'm gonna show you why it really does matter. Okay, so 5 icicles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so we got a glacial. We're gonna get rid of this weapon ancient. We're gonna use glacial. And I'm going to show you why Shatter is so important. We did not use Shatter to generate those 5 icicles. So see the damage, like you look, 100k, 120k, okay? But if we actually, we are going to use Flurry and get those insane Shatters, right? Again, getting those Shatters. And then we're going to use a Glacial Spike into a Shatter debuff. 200k and 251k. That's almost 300k. That's almost 3 times as much damage. So if you don't use Flurry on targets and don't shatter them with a spell, with a Frostball, with an Ice Lance, you will generate very, 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 very weak freaking glacials. Okay, so the whole goal is to generate very, very, very strong glacial spikes and deal as much as damage as possible. Hope this was clear. If it was not, just let me know down in the description. Explain me what you didn't get. I'm gonna try to make a better guide next time. I think it was pretty straightforward, but it was something that I needed to learn about Frost Mage, because like nobody's telling me this kind of things, you know. So hopefully, guys, like this video. If you did, please hit the subscribe button, and see you in the next one, gentlemen. Stay awesome. Thanks for watching.